All right, I am going to start in the third set. I'm going to do the first lesson, Conditions and Control Flow, Codecademy. So I'm going to start with Go with the Flow here. It kind of starts us off with a complicated. So it kind of starts off with a complicated function here with Go with the Flow. And basically, the only thing you do is run, and then it says, you've just entered the clinic. Do you take the door on the left or the right? Type left or right and hit enter. Or you can actually just type the first letter. So I'm going to type L, enter. This is the verbal abuse room. You heap up parrot droppings. I can also run it again and select the right side. Of course, this is the argument room. I've told you that already. And that's all there is to do with part 1. You can see there are a total of 15 parts here. So, and we can click next and go to the next one. Adjust my window a little bit. All right, so now we're comparing things. So we have equals equals determines whether or not two things are the same. For example, 2 is equal to 2, so we do 2 equals equals 2, and that returns the value of true. But 2 is not equal to 5, so when we do 2 equals equals 5, it returns false. We also have the not equals to operator, which is exclamation point equals. For example, here we are saying 2 is not equal to 5. That's a statement we've made, and that statement is true. But when we say 2 is not equal to 2, also a statement, that its statement is false. So we can also do things like less than, 2 is less than 5, true. 5 is less than 2, false. That is a false statement. You can do less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. I'm not going to try and get too much into the math. But now we have a challenge here. So set this to true if 100 equals to 2 times. So here 2 times 50 is 100. So 100 equals 100. That is a true statement. You can check the first one here. 17 is less than 328. Also a true statement. Okay. Now let's look at number 3. 19 is less than or equal to 19. Also a true statement. So, number 4. Negative 22 is greater than or equal to negative 18. Now, this is one of the things that gets me. Obviously, everybody knows 22 is a bigger number than 18. But negative 22 is a smaller number than negative 18. So this would be false. Negative 22 is actually less than minus 18. It is not. So when I say greater than or equal to, that is a false statement. All right, 99 is not equal to 98 plus 1. 98 plus 1 is 99, so 99 is not equal to 99. Well, they are equal, so that is also a false statement. So I hit run, and I think it only approves you if you get them all right. So I can hit next. Now we have kind of extreme comparisons, I guess is what it's saying. It's kind of using a little bit more math. So 10 plus 17, 27 is equal to 3 to the 16th power. Now 3 to the 16th power, it tells us is about 43 million. 27 is not equal to 43 million, so we can say false that. 1 squared is still 1. 1 less than or equal to minus 1. No, 1 is not less than or equal to minus 1. I'm going to say false there as well. 4 times 4 is 160. 100. So you always do the math first and then do the evaluation. 160 greater than or equal to minus 4. Yes, that is true. 100 is not equal to 10 squared. That's how we do squares in Python. No, they is 100 equals 100. So this is a false statement. So run and next. All right, so now we got to kind of make up our own statements here. You can get pretty creative. What is it? 3 to the, this is on the next page. 3 to the 4th power less than or equal to, okay, so I have to make it false. So 3 to the 4th power is 81. I'm saying that's less than 4 to the 3rd power. I think I'm stealing this from a future question. So that would be false. All right, something that is equal to true. 4 is not equal to 5, right? That's a good true statement, right? 4 is not equal to 5. All right, something that is false. 2 squared minus 4 is greater than 0. It's not. It's equal to 0. So, well, that's what we want to be true. 9 plus 9 is equal to 9 times 2. Also a true statement. So hopefully I got it all right. Oh, I have a wrong one in line 16. Oh, see, it's good to kind of point this out. 2 equal signs is what gives you the comparison. It's not just 1. So I run, everything's fine, go on to the next assignment. All right, so now we are going to be combining ands and ors and nots. So in order for an and to work, for A and B, both need to be true to get a true value. If one is false or both are false, it returns a false value. Or only one of the two needs to be true. So if A is true, you get a true. If B is true, you get a true. If either one is true or both is true, it's true. The only case where you get false is where both are false. So it's kind of the opposite of and. And then you have A, you can also put an operator in front, not A. It just flips the value. So if it's true, it becomes false. If it's false, it becomes true. So, all right, let's go to the next slide. All right, so, and the Boolean are true when the expressions on both sides are true. So we need to evaluate these. So false and false. So as we learned, anytime either one is false, you're going to get a false. All right, this one's a little tricky to follow. -2 minus, so it's +2, -2, +2. So all the minuses cancel out. Anytime you have 2 minuses, they cancel out. So it is +2. +2 equal -2. Well, that is a false statement. So I already have one false, and I have an and. So I didn't even bother looking at the other one, but we can. 16 to the 1/2 power, that's actually the equivalent of square root. So the square root of 16 is 4. 4 greater than or equal to 4 is true. So we have false and true. But it's still false, because if we're an and, you need to have both of them need to be true. Modulus functions. This is like when you do long division and you have a remainder. So 16 divided by 4 is 4. 19 divided by 4 is 4. Remainder 3. So this one returns a 3. 300 divided by 10 is also 3. So 3 is not equal to 3. That is false. But note here, I had a false here. It doesn't really matter what you write here. Whenever you have something and false, it's going to be false. So even though the first one is false, 3 is equal to 3, so that 3 not equal to 3, that statement is false. All right, so this one we need to evaluate both sides. 10 mod 10, well, that's 0. If you divide 10 by 10, you have a remainder of 0. So in this case here, math, if you learned in algebra, you do multiplication first. So 10 times 2 is 20. 20 minus 20 is 0. So 0 less than or equal to 0. That statement is true. So let's evaluate this side. 1 squared is 1. So -1. 2 to the 0th power is 1. So -1 less than 1, also true. So true and true. This is our first true statement. And also true and true, as I just said, is also true. So got that one right. All right, a little bit challenging here. Now we're using or. So remember, only one of the two needs to be true to get a true statement. So if you get a true in the first one, you don't even need to look at the second one. So 2 to the 3rd power is 8. 108 mod 100 is also 8. So this is true. It doesn't even matter what this statement is. Cleese equals King Arthur. That might have been true if computers knew any context, but it's actually comparing the letters. C is not equal to K, so this is a false statement on strings. True or false, remember only one of them needs to be true for it to be true. 100 to the 1/2 power, remember half power is square root. Square root of 100 is 10. Is 10 greater than or equal to 50? That is false. Also false, so a false or false. The only time you get a false out of an or statement is where both are false. True or true, also a true. Unless you have an XOR, so exclusive or is where both are true, it becomes false. We're not talking about that right now. So you have 1 to 100 power. Doesn't matter times, take 1 to what power, it's still just 1 versus equals 1 to 100 to the 1st power. So 1 equal 1. This is a false statement. So we don't know if it's true or false until we evaluate the second one. 3 times 2 times 1, 6. 3 plus 2 plus 1, 6. 6 not equal to 6. Well, that's a false statement. So we have false and false, or a false value overall. So now we're looking at not. Some of these get a little ridiculous. So not true is just flip it to a false. I guess I did this one earlier. 3 to the 4th power is 81. 4 to the 3rd power is 64. 81 less than 64 is false, but it's not, so it becomes true. So whatever you get here, evaluate it, false, and then you flip it because you have the not. 10 mod 3 is 1. 10 mod 2 is 0. 1 less than or equal to 0. False. Again, we have the not, so we make it true. All right, a little bit more complicated here. 3 squared, 9, plus 4 squared, 16. All right, 16 plus 9 is 25. Oh, we're checking the Pythagorean theorem here. 5 squared, 25. 25 equal 25. That is, they are equals, so this non-equal sign means it is false. Not false is true. All right, not false. Whenever you have two nots, they cancel each other out. No one should ever use not in anything they're coding because it just returns the exact same result. So, and that is that one. All right, this and that, or this, but not that. So not is evaluated first, and is evaluated next, or is evaluated last. For example, true or not false and false returns true. If this isn't clear, take a look at the hint. So, all right. So false or not true and true. So not true becomes false because not's processed first. Then false and true is false, and then false or false gives you false. So we're just going not and or. We're going in that order. All right. Not true, false. False and false, false. False or true, true. All right, I like it whenever I have these more complicated ones in programming. I can never remember if and or comes first or not. It's better to put the parentheses in. That's my opinion. False or false is false. Not false becomes true. So because the parentheses, we have to evaluate the or first. So true and true, we get a true. All right, not true. Well, that's just true. Not true, false. All right, so we have true or false and false. We're going to process and first. So false and false is false. So now we have true or false, true. I'm probably talking way too quick for some people, but. All right, true and true. That is a true statement, but you have a not there. So you end up with false. False or false. Final value, false. Great work. We're almost done with Boolean operators. So now I have to kind of get creative using and statements. So I can do true or not false and true. I think that one works. So not false, true, true and true, true or true. Or false. Ooh. What is it? False or false or false or true. And false. Because I want it to be false. So I'm getting rid of the... So ands are processed before ors. So this true becomes false. And then now I just have all falses. Make this true. True and not false and true or true. So it doesn't even matter what I have here. I could just do false and not true and false or true, because or is processed last. That's all done. It becomes true. All right. Make me true. False or true and not false. So now because I put these in parentheses, it's all processed first. It just takes one true for or to be true. So this is all true. This is true. So it should be true. I always make it more complicated than it needs to be. Conditional statement. If a conditional statement that executes some specified code after checking its exception is true. Here's an example. All right, so now we're going to use this true-false idea to make decisions. And we're going to be using these things called if statements. All right, so if you think the print statement will print to the console set response equal to yes, otherwise set response equal to no. Will the above print statement print to the console? Answer equals left. Answer equal left. So we use one equal to set left into answer, and then we check to see if answer is equal to that. And that should be true, so I think it will provide a response. And it did. So, all right. So we're getting some practice with if statements. Some text looks like this. Okay. So if you have something that evaluates to true, it will do the stuff inside. If it evaluates to false, it will not do the stuff inside. So using control once, using control again. So what's the goal here? In the editor, you'll see two functions. Don't worry about anything unfamiliar. We'll explain soon enough. Replace the underline on line 2 with an expression that returns true. Replace the underline on line 6 with an expression that also returns true. If banana, one of the things I like to do with strings is this other function called starts with. So if banana starts with B, or B, it should return true because banana does start with B. I can do if not apple, and then you can do dot ends with, oops, it's always plural, ends with A. And apple doesn't end with A, so that's false, but I put the not in front of there. So I'm just getting a little too creative here for some people, I'm sure. Did I miss something? Maybe they haven't implemented this. I think it's getting a little too cute for the online Python. I'm sure they haven't implemented everything. So, all right. So banana equals banana success 1. Not 4 is greater than 5. That's false, but I put a not there. So, all right. Answer: 'tis but a scratch. Definition: Black Knight. If answer: 'tis but a scratch, return true. Else return. So now we're learning about else statements. So if this evaluates to true, you do the normal, do stuff in here. But if it evaluates to false, then you do whatever else. So French soldier, if answer equals go away, I shall taunt you a second time, return true, else return, makes it false. So complete the else statement to the right. Note the indentation for each line. So what is the goal here? This and this precious to the doesn't depend, for example, blah, I get printed. Oh, make sure this returns false, I guess. So I just gotta add false. That's not much exciting. All right, I got 99 problems, but a switch ain't one. So this is where you have more than one condition. So you check one thing. If it's true, you do it, and then you check something else. If that's true, you do it, and if neither of them are true, you do the third thing. You can actually have as many of these as you want. You can do elifs forever. For example, if 8 is greater than 9, I don't get printed. If 8 is less than 9, I get printed. But if 8 is equal to 9, then I don't get printed, or something like that. So on line 2, fill in the if statement, check if answer is greater than 5. Answer is greater than 5. On this, check if elif if the function outputs -1 if the answer is less than 5. Answer less than 5. So now if the answer is equal to 5, it's going to do the third one. If they say answer is 4. 4 greater than 5? No. 4 less than 5? Yes. So it's going to return -1. Next one, 5. 5 greater than 5? No. 5 less than 5? No. Okay, I got here, so it's going to return 0. And then answer 6 greater than 5? Yes, so it's going to return 1. So we should get -1, 0, 1. And that's what we got. All right, last lesson. The big if. Really great work. Here's what you've learned this unit so far. We learned about compares. We learned about Boolean operators, or, and, nots. And we have learned about conditional statements. So it's the grand finale. Grade converter. All right, so our percentages are whole numbers. The workspace is grade converter. The purpose of the function: take a grade 1 to 100 to return the appropriate letter A, B, C, D, or F. 90 or higher. So if grade is equal to 90, but But what happens if it's actually equal to 90? Okay, we need to put greater than equal to. If grade is greater than or equal to 80, totally fine because we've already checked to see if it's greater than 90, so we don't need to worry about the condition. Another thing you can do is you can say if it's between these two. I think that should work in the online Python. This is how I'd probably do it in my code, just because I like to make sure everything's clean. So the grade is between 80 and 70. 70 greater than, sorry, keyboard errors. Grade greater than equal to 60. Else return F. So what happens if it's 101? Well, that'd be greater. That's still an A. So let's. Whoops. So they changed it. So it's not, doesn't go down to 0, it goes down to 65. And I guess we're assuming whole numbers. So I could have put like 89 equal to, I guess I was just allowing for percent, like 89.5. It'll still process correctly. ACF. All right. So that is it for this unit. I got an achievement. Yay. So up next would be the Pig Latin one. So I'm probably going to save that for another time. So.